Good morning.
phenomenal. Don't you just, I need a microphone, don't you just want to have that on a loop in the back of your mind? Is it all kind of like a soundtrack for your life? So whenever anything happens, you're between things, you could just hear that. Pause, shanti, peace, serenity. Oh, I love it. For those who don't know me, I'm the Reverend Patricia VanWoerkom. I'm an ordained CSL minister and a member of this community, and I welcome you to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. We are delighted to have you here in person in our interim quarters at Ruth and Cookie's house, and I want to, heart full of gratitude for the generosity for us to gather here for a couple of weeks until our new home is ready. At least ready enough for us to move into and create our own space. And that's going to be the joy of this new space. So as things are now, and understand contractors always say one thing and life happens. So at the moment, we're due to go in there the first Sunday in September, and it's going to be wonderful. I know Reverend Sharon has wonderful things planned for that day. I bet our music team has wonderful things planned for that day. So be there. My next joy is to welcome our practitioner of the day. Oh no, I need to do one other thing. Homework. I think there's a slide there for the newsletter. Yes. If you haven't seen this newsletter, go on our website. We have a most wonderful website, saccsl.org, and that will get you up to date with everything that's going on. It's planned. So if you want to be in the know, that's where you go. Okay, now, it is my honor and privilege to introduce a dear friend of mine, also my prayer partner, and yes, ministers have prayer partners. If they're smart, they have more than one. I have more than one, but she's the long-term one. She is the head of our practitioners, and she is a brilliant and loving heart. Please, may I introduce you to Reverend Debbie Putnam.
Can you imagine being prayer partners with this incredible woman? My life is enriched. So today I'm going to do our invocation as we always do, and we're practitioner of the day. And I also wore this special dress that my husband brought back to me from Hawaii many years ago now, probably at least 2 decades. And I wear this in honor of Maui. And so in addition to our invocation, I'm also going to pray, treat for the blessings of Maui and the state of Hawaii and all of our beloveds over there. Whether we know them or not, they are our beloveds. We are one. Yes. So join with me in your hearts and minds. In this moment and in every moment, there is one. There is one power, there is one presence, and there is one good. There is the unfolding presence of being, the infinite life, intelligence, and love. The peace of being that was just sung to us so powerfully. This rich being is all that is happening right here and right now, and we call it God, we call it love, we call it intelligence, we call it the universal great spirit, we call it whatever resonates with our minds and hearts. We call it the infinite presence that is all power, and we know that there is a power for good, this power for good in the universe, and that we can use it. And today I use it for the state of Hawaii and for the island of Maui in particular. As I know that this good is all that I am and all that we are, each person who is listening and sharing and expanding this prayer, we bless Maui. as we know that all fires are gone and all people are protected, that those who need to be evacuated, if they're not out yet, they are evacuated. All people are cared for. There is enough space in hospitals and medical facilities. There is blessing for each and every person. And so we know health and wholeness for the towns and cities and the rural areas, for the animals, for the people, for the land itself. For this is a sacred land. This is a place of blessing that has blessed so many people here and so many people there. And so we know the blessings for Maui as this expands and unfolds instead of a volcano erupting, and of course that's not what happened on Maui, but instead of a volcano erupting, this is an eruption of love, an eruption of givingness, an eruption of protection, of sharing, of kindness, of compassion, of grace. There's so much grace happening right here and right now, in every moment, in every place. And I expand as I know this grace in our lives, as I know this grace for this morning, this service, as I know that every moment of this service, the music, the technology, the talk itself, all of it unfolds and touches each and every mind and heart, each and every one of us in perfect timing. We hear and know and act on exactly what is ours to do, exactly what is ours to hear, exactly what is ours to be. And so today we are transformed. We give of ourselves and receive abundantly. So much good is happening right here and right now. In this knowing, I give thanks, and so it is.
So it is.
Not quite ready to sit down. And now for our readings. You are a spontaneous, self-choosing center in life, in the great drama of being, the great joy of becoming, the certainty of eternal expansion. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. And from Abraham Hicks, see this world as a free world, and see everyone in it as trying through their individual experiences to find their way back to that calling, back to that source energy. And from Doug VanWoerkom, oh wait, I don't get to read from him. He gets to do this himself. He is an incredible poet and an incredible channel for other poetry. Of course, he works hard at it. Channel makes it sound like, oh, it just comes. And he is our resident poet, and he is a world-class talent. And I'm so grateful to call him friend and also to have him as part of this center. You're in for a treat.
So how's that? Can you hear?
Yep.
So we'll start with a Rumi poem this morning. Rumi is a 13th century Sufi mystical poet, and he has some delightful ways of bringing us into his poetry. He uses simple though clever metaphor to draw us into his ideas, to draw us into his story, if you will. And then he drops us straight down into the deep end of his ideas. Hopefully we come up gasping for air and seeing life in a new way. One of the things I love about his poetry is that it can be used or applied or thought of in different areas. So it works well with passion and purpose with this poem, I believe. Give it a listen. This is a Coleman Barks version of a Rumi poem. It has no title. Don't run around this world looking for a hole to hide in. There are wild beasts in every cave. If you live with mice, The cat claws will find you. The only real rest comes when you are alone with God. Live in that nowhere that you came from, even though you have an address here. This is why you see things in two ways. Sometimes you'll look at a person and see a cynical snake, while someone else sees a joyful lover, and you're both right. Everyone is half and half, like the black and white ox. Joseph looked ugly to his brothers, yet most handsome to his father. You have eyes that see from that nowhere, and eyes that judge distance, how high, how low. You own two shops, and you keep running back and forth between them. Back and forth. Back and forth. Try to close the shop. That's a fearful trap, and always getting smaller. Checkmate this way. Checkmate that way. Keep open the shop where you aren't selling fish hooks anymore. You are the free swimming fish.
Woo! Like I'm supposed to follow that and say something brilliant? Well, good morning again.
Good morning.
You okay?
Yes.
Audience?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. If you can't, just go, let me know. I just returned from the Asilomar Conference Grounds and CSL's SOAR Conference. And the SOAR Conference is designed to be a retreat. And it's not just for ministers, it's for everybody. And I wish every one of you could have attended. The speakers, the music, the grounds. Asilomar has a sacred space and a history with CSL. And Holmes spoke there. Holmes spoke there. Okay. So that energy, our energy, the New Thought energy, lives there. And that history, we created an energy, fomented an energy that supports renewal and change. And the overarching theme was retreat, as in let go, the opposite of moving forward, back away, detach. So retreat, renew, and reconnect. And I can't think of a better resource for me in preparation to this talk. It just wasn't. The August talks all revolve around our individual passion and purpose in this life. And Reverend Sharon's opening statement last week contained two things that I think are critical to our understanding today. She said our passion is fueled by the principle of joy. I'll say it again. Our passion is fueled by the principle of joy. And the second is that our purpose is sustained by our calling. So last week, since it was the first week of the month, she spoke about how we identify our passion and purpose using the tools of visioning, contemplation, and prayer, which are three spiritual practices that we talk about all the time. Okay, so after you have listened to life's highest vision of your life, and if you aren't feeling overwhelmed by the possibilities therein, remember, you are always at choice. Pure life, pure consciousness, which is who you really are, chose to have a human experience called insert your name in the blank. Okay. This means that you actually chose to be here. Imagine that. And you came with a purpose that you chose. And you remain at choice about how and when that purpose is revealed and manifested. You're not driven by the past. You are called by the future. Your potential, your future sustains your purpose. Okay? Now, I'm not much of a Bible scholar, so I'm stealing this from Reverend Sharon, who found it and gave it to you last week, I think, but I love it. I'm going to say it again. It's from Romans chapter 11, verse 29. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable, can never be withdrawn, and are under full warranty. Never canceled, never rescinded. Let me say that again. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable, can never be withdrawn, and are under full warranty, never canceled, never rescinded. This means that life, spirit, the God of your understanding, fully supports you to be who you chose to come here to be, whenever and however you choose to do that. So relax. Whether your visioning spoke to you of relatively great or small things, life has your back. So sit and contemplate the words and the ideas that came to you from your visioning last week, and see what ignites your passion, or at least your interest. Look for where you feel joy. For as I said earlier, our passion is fueled by our joy. This is still, small voice work. This is why it starts with visioning and contemplation. Unless you are a Moses or an Abraham or a Mary who gets announcements from the angels, don't expect drama and flashing lights. Still, small voice work. I had a meditation teacher once, and we were in this great hall of 1,000 people, and I didn't know much about the organization at that point, but apparently there was some kind of, I don't want to call it a myth, but a story about people in deep meditation would see the blue pearl of wisdom. And someone in that group kind of proudly announced that they had seen the blue pearl of wisdom. And the teacher said, good, keep meditating, it will go away. Again, this is still small voice work. Let your awareness percolate. Remember the old coffee percolators? How the coffee would come up and drip into the grounds over and over, so the coffee became stronger and stronger. Let what came through you in your visioning percolate through your mind and your heart, and thereby gain strength. Vision, contemplate, and then do your prayer work to fully realize and embody that you and spirit, you and consciousness, you and that which created all are one and the same. Okay? That was week 1. So you've done all that. So now what? The next is growing the link between your passion and your purpose. One of the opening readings was from Nikola Tesla. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. We refer to quantum physics a lot in Science of Mind because it's a great metaphor. Energy, the energy, frequency, and vibration. Energy can be seen as your passion. Frequency or focus can be what you're tuned into. Okay? And vibration is your individual consciousness, that unique collection of beliefs and values and experience and behaviors and attitudes that is you in the world. And your vibration has a great deal with where and how you focus your energy, which is why Science of Mind spends so much time looking at individual beliefs and behaviors and attitudes for what they show to us about ourselves, about our vibration. Now, if we focus on the day-to-dayness of our lives, what I have recently been calling the administrivia of my life, then we're not focused on our passion or our purpose. Now, I call it administrivia because I was an administrator in my professional life. 40 years of doing and managing the administration of programs and departments and activities. And you may characterize your day-to-dayness differently. But what I'm talking about is always about the outward focus. Okay? And mine tends to get stuck in administrivia. So, back to SOAR. You knew I'd have to come back there someplace, right? Mm-hmm. Retreat, renew, reconnect. Retreat part of my SOAR experience gave me an opportunity to disengage my focus on the unfulfilling and unthinking habits of my daily life, administrivia, and to look at my resistance to those activities. I was resisting, I am resisting, because they were sucking the life out of me. All give, all doing, with no reference to purpose or passion. Now the daily stuff needs to be done. Dishes and laundry won't do themselves. Taxes need to be filed. And those of you who know me, I filed for an extension for 2021, and I've never finished. I haven't even started 2022. Okay? This is administrative. This is the stuff that has to be done, okay? Appointments with doctors and dentists and vets are important. But if that is all that is happening, if I only see the what that I'm doing and the doing that I'm doing and forget about the why, then I have stripped the joy from my life. Now, joy is always there. My purpose and passion is always there. Remember, they are irrevocable, never canceled, never rescinded. But if my frequency is only tuned to the dailiness of my life, then my vibration cycles through old patterns, old habits, and my energy stagnates. This is my description of depression, by the way. Not in a clinical sense, just as in a flat, emotional approach to life. My spirit was malnourished. I was in need of a new mental diet. So I retreated. I let go of the ordinary dailiness of my life for a whopping 3 days. It didn't even take that long for me to disconnect. By letting go of my old focus, I created the room for something new. And I became open to the second theme of SOAR, renew. The percolation of our passion, our renewal, begins when we allow our thoughts to build momentum around an idea. Remember the 3 spiritual practices? Meditation can help us retreat, let go of the dailiness and drop in to that bigger space in which we actually live and have our being. Contemplation is our personal percolator, our passion percolator. Find brief readings, a paragraph at most that inspire you, that grab your attention, that speak to you, especially when you have no idea why they speak to you. Let them gently percolate through you. Let them show you the connection to joy, your passion. This is renewal. Much like in prayer, you don't have to know how to make the connections, how to engineer or plan your life. Your joy, your passion will lead you to be able to see the path unfold in front of you. It may be counterintuitive and this may not be good news, but the path to joy is not always full of rainbows and butterflies. Actually, butterflies have some relevance here. You may have beliefs and behaviors and relationships that need to transform in order for you to take that path to joy, for it to open up, for you to be able to see it. In order for you to take that next step forward to reveal or manifest your life purpose. Transformation can be messy. Caterpillars turn into complete liquid goo before they become butterflies. Ever had your life turn into liquid goo? Relationships that dissolved because the hurt and the betrayals and the stories had to be released and forgiven before you could move forward. Where you needed to forgive yourself for expecting someone else to be other than who they were or are. Or to forgive yourself for trying with the best of intentions to be someone that you weren't. Ever been fired or felt pressured out from a job because you did not realize that you were done and it was time to go? I've had both experiences. They were not fun. But moving through them and getting to the other side and then having the patience to let my wings dry and harden so I can fly, it's been well worth the pain of transformation. Reconnection. Transformation reconnects me to myself. This was the third theme of the SOAR conference. And reconnection works at multiple levels. When I let go of the old, and there will always be old stuff to let go of. Don't think you only do it once. There's more and there's more, okay? But it opens to transforming those beliefs and habits and relationships that are sucking the joy out of my life. Then I reconnect to my individual passion and purpose. I can see and feel the river of joy that is life's gift to itself. But I also reconnect to that underlying connection of all things to each other. There really is only one life that is living through us and as us. Remember Troward's 7 generic qualities of God? And by generic, he meant that they are pure principle, pure qualities that are always equally present, simply awaiting our use of them. The first 3, life, love, light. That which creates, that which sustains creation, and the infinite potential and possibilities of creation. Life, love, light. Then there's power, peace, and beauty. Our ability to choose the experience of innate oneness, and the glorious pattern that we create in all of our diversity. Power, peace, and beauty. And the final quality is joy. All life flows into joy. It is the necessary and logical outcome of the singularity that we call spirit or God, transforming from pure consciousness into form. This is a foregone conclusion. Creation ends in joy and then cycles back and creates and sustains possibility, creating beauty and being joy. It's always that cycle. When you reconnect to your passion and purpose, when you get a bigger sense of who you came here to be, ask yourself, how can this get better? Is there a deeper, richer joy that I can experience? Take these questions back into visioning or contemplation. Use the answers for your prayer work. Lean into the deeper or richer feelings or thoughts that bubble up. Allow yourself to intensify your focus, your frequency. Tune in even more to your purpose, who you came here to be. You can stay well nourished with these tools. To close, I want to leave you with some of the final thoughts I received from the SOAR conference. Even though I came away having rested and renewed and reconnected to my purpose, I still needed some inspiration around what to do with my purpose. I found the following to be helpful. Remember, I used the word foment? It has a broad meaning. Okay? Most of us are familiar with the indigenous wisdom of making a choice with the eye to 7 generations. I was given a new perspective on that outlook. Signs of Mine recently celebrated its 100th birthday. And Reverend Elisha Christopher, who is a young Turk, he's one of the younger ministers, he was one of the 12 people nationally that was accepted to study and be mentored by Jean Houston, who, if you know her, is an incredible futurologist. And she's just amazing. So he asked us to consider several things, most of which kind of blew my mind. What if Ernest Holmes' ideas of 100 years ago were the seeds of what we are harvesting today? By that, he meant both the common acceptance of new thought principles in everyday life. I mean, how many movies and songs these days carry the message of unity and love and the power of individual choice? Movies from this year's Oscar winners and nominees, Everywhere, Everything, All at Once, to Avatar, The Way of Water. Even Disney's Moana has the right message, okay? Add to that our massively increased awareness of the inequalities and horrors of everyday life. Who would have ever thought that the Grammys would create an award for the best song for social change? And that Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, the president's wife, would present it to an Iranian songwriter. By the way, the song is heartbreakingly beautiful. Another question. Holmes makes a clarion call to recognize the love and unity that is the essence of life. Could that be the seed that has blossomed into the current culture clash, as it is euphemistically called? Is that why we are seeing with such clarity where we as a people, as a human society, are not seeing and treating everyone, to include our planet, with love and respect? I remember hearing Father Richard Moore talking about every time Jesus said, love your neighbor, that the disciples who were supposed to be the ones who got the message, would ask variations of, but do you really mean everyone? Surely you don't mean fill in the blank. The Romans, the Pharisees, the Samaritans. Maybe our purpose is that we are here now in our own unique and individual ways to stand and look at inequity and privilege and arrogance and fear of the other just square in the face and see the truth through that appearance. We teach that all is a manifestation of the divine. All. The same way that Jesus taught us to love everyone. There are no exceptions. We teach that there is a power for good, and not only can we use it, but we are it. We are the power of good. Which leads me to Reverend Elisha's final mind-blowing questions. If the science of mind teachings of 100 years ago were the seeds of today, what seeds are we planting for the future? What will our children's children reap? Has all that's gone before for the last 100 years been a rehearsal, and now is the time, it's showtime for our teachings? Said another way, is it time to graduate from our studies, which really never end, but to graduate and to go out into the world and live our teachings, to act on them? Are we ancestors in training? Okay, here's my absolutely final thought. It's a quote from Howard Thurman, and it goes, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because the world needs is people who have come alive." Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. People who know their purpose and live it with passion. Our purpose often boils down to very simple actions that ripple out into the world, making a difference in the life of many. So retreat. Let go of the old. Renew. Allow yourself the time and space to be renewed by your inborn, inspired passion. Reconnect to your purpose, who you came here to be. And remember, the universe, life, spirit, the God of your understanding is waiting to support you in whatever you choose and whenever you choose to act. Thank you. Now, if you would join me in prayer. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And let's start with breathing together for 3 slow, deep breaths. Linda reminded me of heart math and the sense of entrainment, where we come together in the breath. because it is one breath breathing us. And in this one breath, in this one life, Spirit moves into the world through me. There is a joy in consciousness, in source, in the original singularity that is all things. There is such joy to move into form, to experience life through all the available senses. Probably more than I know of. But that is the life flowing through me right now. That is the life flowing through you right now. And because of this connection, because of this quantum entanglement, we all are connected to each other through this source. And so I call upon our memories of why we chose to come here. What life wants to express through us. What brings us the joy of being alive and awake. Rumi says, don't fall asleep. Don't fall back to sleep. Awake. And so right here and right now, I am awake to the wholeness that flows in every single cell of my body, healing and transforming and ridding my body of anything that does not support health and strength and vitality. For this is my native state, one of wholeness. And I let go of any story that has me considering myself anything other than beloved of the universe, rich in relationships, able to do everything that I want to do when I want to do it. Money, grace, gifts, givingness, forgivingness flows through me. And it shows up in the rich, vibrant life that I claim as mine and that the universe has always wanted and expected for and of me. And I put this claim, I put this knowing into the law. And I give thanks for answered prayer because there is no other kind. All prayer is answered. And I give great thanks. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so now we get our in-house, our very own poet back. I think you joined one of your own poems this time, right?
Yes.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So this is a poem I wrote about a year and a half ago, which my poems are my way of exploring what's going on inside of me. I needed to look at the change that I wanted to take place in my life. So in the poem, I look at some of the places where the old ways of thinking ruled, how they impacted my life. And to be honest, still do to some degree. I am a work in progress. But more importantly, I think I look at the simple and essential, though not always easy, way to set change in motion in our life. This poem has a phrase, easily remembered, I hope, that repeats itself at the end of each stanza. So if you feel like joining in the poem, that phrase is where you can do it. And that phrase is, and it's also the title, as I change my thinking, I change my life. As a child, I believed everything my loved ones taught me because they believed it too. And those beliefs became my life. How quickly I learned that doing something wrong really meant I was wrong. How about this one? When you change, then I'll be happy. Friends, our debt to the future is this. Either we learn to heal our own suffering, or it's passed on to our children as their dark inheritance. So let's break this chain together. Join with me now and say out loud, as I change my thinking, I change my life. Why do I dream the same dream over and over? Why do I throw my tangled line in the same ocean again and again? Why have I learned so many ways to say no and so few ways to say yes? I have become so thirsty, and yet I settle for just one sip of water. Now more than ever, friends, I need your help in remembering the idea. As I change my thinking, I change my life. You know, it's when I finally admit that the walls I've built around myself are so high that I discover my true freedom comes from within. Praise the Holy One, I am finally learning now that before I try to tear down any wall built by others, I must first challenge my own walls. And that's why I say out loud several times a day, as I change my thinking, I change my life. For so long I've struggled to find God, somewhere within you, somewhere within me. It's taken me my entire life, but I'm finally discovering now it's inside God where I find us all. So take a chance with me, and together let's call out, as I change my thinking, I change my life. A true healing doesn't just mean losing symptoms. It also means gaining greater insight and living life more deeply than ever before. The more I learn that healing and self-growth are not bound by time and space, the more I'm free to say, as I change my thinking, I change my life. Douglas, you struggled for so long, trying to keep your head above water, and you look exhausted. Are you ready now to see that what's really true is you have always been standing up to your neck in heaven? Well, lies somewhere deep within the idea. As I change my thinking, I change my life.
I can do this. How does this thing work? Okay.
I'll be done, please.
Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Look at that. Thank you, that's good.
Okay, I'm just gonna type it.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. I just want to say thank you. Does anybody else feel a thank you? For Reverend Patricia's talk, for the poetry and the music.
Yes.
So, is everybody ready to retreat and renew
Yes.
and
Reconnect.
reconnect to who and what we really are, just as we are reconnecting to each other today? So we're going to take that with us this week, and this is our offering time. So this is our opportunity to give. We have been given to, as we always are by the universe when we open ourselves, and we give because that opens the flow of giving and receiving. So just as, if you're in the grocery store line or something, or if I am, when I open myself to someone being nice to me and I'm nice to them, there's this sort of give and take. The same thing happens with our financial well-being. When I am open to giving and open to receiving, when I'm appreciative of the flow that I live in, whether it's for health or love or finances or whatever it is, whatever I need to expand in my life, I step into that flow of giving I'm always in, but I remember, I give and I receive. And so today we're, of course, right now giving of our financial well-being because, and this includes our YouTube audiences, which we can only keep the YouTube going, of course, with your donations that we appreciate so much, that support the online ministry of this center, the expanding online ministry, the equipment, all the things that we need, as well as the in-person in this location that we're about to open, hopefully that first weekend in September, Labor Day weekend. So, very excited about that. You can give on the website. There's buttons. We do that quite a bit. There is, if you're in person, there is a basket going around, and you can do it the old-fashioned way. And there's something about writing that check that really grounds it for us. For us individually. And so, however, you can even mail a check. We accept your gifts, we're grateful for your gifts, and we know the abundance and expanding good of this center in so many ways, including financially. Join with me as we say our abundance affirmation. This is incredible. Let me live in you. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever-expanding, infinite good. And so it is. We have a few announcements, not too many. So there's the One Heart virtual event. Now this is an incredible online opportunity. It says the CSL Member Council. What that means to us is basically this is open to anyone, not just practitioners or ministers, or it is open to members and non-members of CSL, people who wish to attend and enrich. It's a Friday and Saturday, the 29th through 30th. Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, those of us who have attended this center may know him as the one who often does the signing in the background, or actually in the foreground, with some of our music. So sometimes when we have our music, there will be someone who's signing, and that's Dr. Raymond Anderson. In addition, he has written some of the talks that, we always do our own ideas, but some of the talk notes. He's a powerful minister. There will be other New Thought speakers and Nemo Patel and other world-class musicians, interactive workshops. So if you weren't able to go to SOAR, or if you were, this is another opportunity to retreat, renew, and reconnect. And it's $49. So, in case you were worried about this breaking your budget, hopefully it won't. It's they're making it very open for people to be able to come, which is awesome. We also have town hall meetings that are on the first and third Friday at 6 p.m. on Zoom. And that is a wonderful place both to just talk and bring up ideas and learn what's going on, and also especially to learn what's going on with the development of our new location, what's needed, all the things. And then we also have our website where you can find out about, you can put in prayer requests. Lots of people are doing that. We get prayers almost every day, prayer requests. Also, when you put in your prayer request, I'm going to invite you, and some people do this already, to also put in your prayer is answered or it's on its way, because that helps ground it for those of us who are treating, the ecclesiastical team, but also for you, whoever the broader you is. If you're on YouTube, you're part of the you. It helps us know that either it's on its way or it's happened, and remind us that this thing we call prayer, this thing we call returning to who and what we really are, actually works all the time. All the time. So, you think I believe in this? Yeah, I do. Okay. And so now we share an affirmation with you, followed by the benediction and the closing song. And for those of you who are in person, please stay to hang out and chat. We call that fellowship. The affirmation, I nurture my passion. Feel free to say this with me. I nurture my passion. It blends naturally with my purpose. There is a power for good, and we can use it, and we are it. Right here and right now, I know for myself and each and every one of us, online, in person, watching now, watching later, that only good is happening. That we move into our lives with the renewal, the reconnection, all of this good. Knowing that when we change our thinking, we change our lives, and that it is simply waiting for us like a buffet of joy whenever we choose to move into it. And we choose now. We choose in every moment. In every moment, we are making a choice. And in this moment, I choose my good. I choose my passion. I choose my purpose. I choose to retreat, renew, and reconnect. And I know this for each and every one of us, as all of us make this choice in our lives. We move into our days and our weeks, transforming ourselves in others, sometimes in the tiniest ways that we don't even see. All of this good is happening now, right here and right now, and it is done, and so it is.
So it is.
Please enjoy our closing song.
This song is a Gary Lynn Floyd song that we've adopted, that we very much enjoy. It's a call and respond for you on YouTube, and also for all of you here, if you want to sing along with our One Love band, that would be wonderful. Love be with you.
Love be with you.
Peace enfold you.
Peace enfold you.
Spirit lift you.
Spirit lift you.
Breathe in.
Breathe in.
Truth come through.
Truth come through you.
A good flow through you.
A good flow to you.
Let joy renew.
Let joy renew.